Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Crescent Sound podcast, where I give you a platform to express your struggle stories. You can either email me your stories on thecrescentsound@gmail.com and I present them on the podcast for you, or I can have you come on as a guest on the podcast and you can tell your story by yourself. Anyways, I'm your host, Luna, and let's begin with today's episode. Okay, hi everyone. Okay, sorry. Hi everyone. So today I'm joined by someone that I have not spoken to in a really long time, and I'm speaking to them after like what, 2, 3 years. So please, everyone, welcome Cecilia. And this is a really special episode too, because this is the 10th episode within this season. We're halfway through this season, and I'm so happy to have Cecilia as a guest for our mid-season episode. So, Cecilia, would you like to say hi?
Hello everyone. My name is Cecilia, and I'm currently 19, so that's pretty
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Yeah, I'm honestly so surprised she's 19. Last time we spoke to her, she was a 17-year-old high schooler. So it's a bit weird for me too. But yeah, Cecilia, would you like to say something about yourself?
Um, so just like me as a person,
Yeah, anything. Any little
um,
tidbit facts about you.
I like to game a lot. I enjoy playing video games, and
Mm-hmm.
this might sound like creepy, but I enjoy people watching, so.
Oh, that's completely fine. I mean, I love talking to people, so yeah. Okay, so I guess we can just start with today's episode. So, Cecilia, what's going on?
Mhm. Um, Currently, interestingly, I'm having thoughts about my insecurity through life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's stemmed from my childhood, which we can start off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very insecure person. So back when I was still in school, my parents were very strong about doing, you know, passing straight A's. I
Mm-hmm.
had to get into a certain college. I had to go, to a certain job career. I ended up taking care of my two brothers, despite one of them being older than me, because I was the only female in our family.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and both my parents were working, so they weren't really home either.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a lot of stuff in my childhood that I just had to bear as, and this is all back through middle school, just as a little young
Mm-hmm.
kid.
Wow, you're
Um,
really small.
yeah, it was a lot.
Jesus. Oh
Yeah,
my god,
I,
okay.
you're a kid. And it's taken a toll on my thinking because in a way, let's just say I wasn't good enough to fit all of those, check mark those boxes for my family.
Mm-hmm.
And my version of loving myself had come from, people, how they view me. So in return, through that really rough childhood, I've ended up becoming a very strong people pleaser, and it's taken a toll on how I think, my friendships and relationships now. So, I mean, childhood wise, it was pretty rough. It's
Mm-hmm.
definitely gotten a lot better now, like my
Aw,
thinking.
I'm glad.
Um,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I used to be a lot more depressed, and I had such horrible anxiety at the time that I was definitely afraid of people. I was afraid of interacting with them, and um, it was a whole ride. So it's definitely a lot better now. I don't think like that anymore. But
Mm-hmm.
I still definitely do have some insecurity issues regarding myself. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's it for my childhood, though. Unless you would like me to go further, but you're good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you have more to say, you can continue.
Oh, okay. So I guess to keep on going, how it affects me now. Um, I'm one of the biggest things that's been funny enough recently is the idea of love, like
Mm-hmm.
marrying somebody, finding somebody that you really, connect with, that you'll live together forever. And I have not been in the dating scene for over 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's since like that's like middle school, basically.
Yeah.
Funny enough. Um, but you know, everyone, and I'm a little peer pressured, so all of my friends around me and a few of my older friends, everyone's getting, engaged, or they're talking about, how much in love they are with someone and how great it is. And sometimes, when we, talk to each other, and sometimes these are just my peers I graduated with, and then we'll see each other online, maybe on like Instagram, funny enough. And
Mm-hmm.
they'll just be like, "Hey, how's life going?" And they always bring up the same thing, how's your love life? Because I was always known in high school and stuff to just be like the guy who didn't think a lot, um, think much about, relationships, that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just like, oh, I haven't been with anybody. And I get scared a lot about, being by myself for the rest of my life. Sort of growing old, growing lonely, and I get, my brain starts like racking up, like,
Mm-hmm.
am I gonna be lonely forever? Like, how upsetting would that be? And part of me is also just afraid to look for someone because I feel that I'm so unlovable and that I can't be, possibly being loved. I'm very doubtful of myself, Even
Mm-hmm.
if somebody like gave me the world and told me that I was a great, lovable person, that the qualities and things that I do is good, part of me just couldn't believe them. And that is why, like, I'm also just not looking for relationships right now. I'm just a very doubtful, insecure person on the way I express love, um, on things like if what I actually say I like, or if I really think that I am in a good spot in my current life. Guaranteed most of it is just comparisons to other people and my peers that are, I'd like to say in my head, a bit more successful, despite it just being like they have their lessons or they're going to college compared to me. But
Mm-hmm.
but yeah. So that's pretty much it, I think, for now, but I might think of
Okay.
more later.
Well, I mean, first of all, thank you so much for speaking. You're really brave for that. And it's hard to talk about these things, especially like openly. Plus, I mean, it's hard to like speak about these things, like I said, to like other people also. And I'm really thankful that you were speaking to me about this. I'm really thankful that you're here sharing your story. And
Yeah.
honestly, I can kind of understand where you're coming from because like were you was like were your parents like really conditional like growing up in the sense like, oh, you can only have this if you have like good grades, like.
Yes, I
Mhm.
was pretty much myself, The
Mhm.
hobbies I had weren't very like, it's like they don't make you a lot of money, right? So
Mhm.
I was interested in music and art, and I loved gaming, and my parents were just like, why? Out of all the hobbies you can have. And so, yeah, pretty much everything was conditional, right? So like if I
Mhm.
had certain grades, then I can do these hobbies, and if I didn't do it, then I couldn't get it. It would be taken away from me. And
Mhm.
it's, that's part of like why I'm so insecure, that it's developed my self-worth on my capabilities, my
Mhm.
strengths, my effort. And if I'm not good enough,
Mhm.
then I can't deserve these things.
I mean, yeah, I can understand like then why you would feel so like unlovable because everything has been so conditional for you where like it's hard for you to accept if something is coming as it is like unconditional, so it's like a weird feeling. I get it. um And I guess it's also like, would you say you have any trust issues?
Oh, I do, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am a horrible people reader, and it's just, I feel like it's also due to my parents as well. My parents were never good at expressing that they care and love me. And I mean, even now, like, I still think that they just love me in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely not the way that I think every child should be treated, but
Mm-hmm.
I could digress.
It's
But
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
you're good. Um, and it's just, gosh, what was the question again?
Oh, I basically just asked you if you had any trust issues.
Okay, yeah, I do. I mean, I remember what I was
Mm-hmm.
gonna try and say, but my parents, they grew me up, so
Mm-hmm.
everything was kind of a transition.
Mm-hmm.
So now, when people are nice to me, I just question like, and it also like goes further too. It's like instead of it just being, oh, maybe they think they need to help me, or like, oh, they shouldn't help me. I don't deserve this help. And sometimes it's like, am I just that awful looking, physically or emotionally, or, that someone thinks that they have to help me? Am I that useless? And it
Mm-hmm.
bothers me so much when sometimes, someone's just helping you out of the good of their heart, or because, they cherish you as a person. And I can't
Mm-hmm.
look past that for some reason sometimes. It's not to say like all the time I'm always thinking so, um, unhighly of myself, but most of the
Mm-hmm.
times I do.
I mean, honestly, it's really hard to overcome something like that. And I mean, it's really hard to even recognize there's something like that going on with yourself, right?
Oh
So,
yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, you've already done the hardest step of, recognizing what's going on. So, I mean, I don't think it'll bother you forever, honestly. I think things will get better as time goes on, right? I mean, you've experienced it yourself.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mm.
I think they're definitely getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think the biggest thing with trying to, or that has worked for me, was just allowing myself to try things and really remind yourself that,
Mm-hmm.
self-love is a journey and that it's not measured by people, it's measured by you. And the only
Mm-hmm.
reason that I can't love myself is because I don't know myself. So
Mm-hmm.
it's
I
definitely
love I love that quote, self love isn't measured by people, it's measured by you. I'm gonna put that as the episode title. I love
You're
that quote.
good.
I think that's a great way to describe self love, and I'm so proud of you,
Oh,
for
thank
coming
you.
this far and for talking about it, you know. So I'm really thankful that you're here. And I mean, would you like to say anything else? Any piece of advice, I guess, you have for anyone else
Hmm.
facing extreme insecurities?
I guess my biggest thing that, it's kind of a reminder to myself is that it is okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not know things. And that those things that you learn over time are experiences that'll shape you as a person. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you can mess up and it's okay. It's just how you take those mistakes and learn from them. And it sounds really simple and it can be
Mm-hmm.
very hard and it can be for a
Mm-hmm.
multitude of things. But if you learn to forgive yourself, you will become a good person to yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
be nice to yourself.
I love that
You're
advice. Thank you so much.
welcome.
uh, okay, I think that'll be it for this episode. I want to thank Cecilia for being here. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for speaking out about this, because I'm pretty sure like everyone suffers from some insecurities. Like, a lot of people with Asian parents do have trust issues. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of people with Asian parents have like really bad trust issues, and I guess it's a cultural thing at this point. But yeah, um, yeah. Thank you for speaking up about it, and thank you so much for being here. And that'll be the end for this episode. Thank you so much. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Thank you for watching this episode of The Crescent Sound. I hope you enjoyed and continue visiting this channel for more uploads. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to know immediately when I upload, and follow me on Instagram for updates on the coming episode for the Crescent Sound podcast.